What's up out there? We are back with some more Path of Exile, and Mercenaries League is a week old at this point. This is my Cyclone Chieftain, who is sitting at level 88. I've got 4,100 life. I've got life regen of 718. We've got LE, basically the LE res, Fire, Cold, and Lightning is all set at 83%. I'm short on Chaos res, but... and we're doing, on POB, it's looks like I'm doing about 115k DPS. You're probably going to say this build isn't all that great, but I've taken this build and gotten 90 out of 115 map nodes with it. I am up into tier 15s. It is definitely not stalling out, but the damage in the higher, depending on map modifiers, even some of the lower ones, rares and uniques, rare monsters and unique bosses, can be a little slow to kill at points. All things that I need to work out, but I've gotten all the way up into red maps and almost all the mappings completely done for the most part. I'm 25 maps short at this point, but build's doing really well. It's doing exactly what I designed it for, which is to do mapping. The reason I chose this build here is because of the Chieftain ascendancy and the fact that you can get big explosions off of it and good clearing with it. That's exactly what I want with this. I have a shopping list of stuff that I'm looking for. I'm playing in SSF, so everything's limited based on my abilities, the amount of currency that I've got, and all that kind of thing. But my progress is, I am very pleased with how far I am 1 week into the league. I am very pleased with the way this build has turned out. And I do plan on I'm going to do a second build this weekend. I'll start on it. I'm going to do a Cyclone Berserker. That's going to be my bossing build. Now, I don't know exactly how that one's going to turn out because I've got a POB for it, but I'll probably make some changes to it. I made changes to this build as I went. I ran into some weird scenarios here that I haven't ran into before. So I'm not sure what all's different with this league as far as everything goes, but I've been getting a lot more slow, frozen, chill's been a big issue, freezing's been a big issue, maim, hinder, curses that slow you down. Like I feel like I've just been blasted with stuff that slows my build down non-stop. So I've had to do some things to address all of that. And well, let's just dive into the build and take a look at it. So I'm only level 88. I'm still only rocking a 4-link for Cyclone. We've got Cyclone with Fortify, Pulverize, and Melee Fizz damage support. I am running Leap Slam with faster attacks so we can move around a little bit. I liked the Legacy of Frisia event when we did the Behemoth, where you could not cast spells at all. Like you couldn't do any spells. So I've taken that concept and brought it out into regular outside of Frisia. And I like the idea. So I take blood magic and I don't have anything reserved. I don't have any mana, but I don't have to worry about mana reservation efficiency. It's gimping my build. I know I don't get determination. I don't get vitality. I don't get any of the auras. I mean, I could take them. I certainly could. And I could certainly take blood magic off and just start working on all that. I've got another variant for that I put together for my jug, which has got all the reservation efficiency. But I like this because it's kind of efficient. I can put more points into damage or other defensive layers or things like that. And with the Chieftain, I don't really have too many issues with it. It feels pretty good. So I've also, when I first came out of that Legacy of Frisia with the Behemoth, I wasn't using any magic at all, but I have been tinkering around with it in here. So I've got, long story short, I've got automation on here with Blood Rage and Molten Shell. I can also use Berserk now because these all allow for magic. They're all magic, so I can just run those. So I get a little bit of a defensive layer with Molten Shell and Blood Rage for generating frenzy charges. The other thing that it took me far too long to put this on. And before we talk about this thing, I'm not sure how I feel about Berserk. It's not as good as it used to be. It's kind of one of those, the boss is almost dead, I'm going to hit Berserk. I don't really like using it all that much. But I've got Berserk on here. I wish it was a little bit better. But at any rate, I took too long to put this cluster in here. So we've got cast when damage taken with Blade Vortex, and increased area of effect and Culling Strike. The only thing I care about this is Culling Strike. So the concept is you're pretty much getting hit a lot with bosses and stuff like that, or rares and things. So if you can get something on here that adds Culling Strike. I've tried putting it on with my Cyclone setup. It basically takes a socket out and you have to put Culling Strike on it, and it's not as good. You do less DPS. So in my behemoth mode, I've been searching for things that will allow me to put Culling Strike on it while I'm still doing Cyclone. So cast when damage taken does just that. So I can throw that out. It's going to toss out a Blade Vortex when I get enough damage taken, and then that puts Culling Strike on it. So I like that little setup. I am keeping an eye out for a Nagamu's Flame because I'm an SSF. I have to wait for it to drop, but I'm going to keep an eye out for the Nagamu's Flame. If I get that thing, I will swap all that out because then you can put 6 support gems on there for the skill that comes with that axe, and then I can put Culling Strike on that, and then it's just always going whether I'm doing Culling Strike or not, and I don't have to worry about, life cost of using it. But that's pretty much what we've got going on with this. The rest of the build's kind of just as best as I can get things put together. I need to put a Chaos Flask on here, but I just got these flasks set up. So I'm running Quicksilver, Silver, and Ruby. So we've got use when charges reach full on these two, and then use when an adjacent flask is used on that. So I finally get these automated. I took until today, I think, to get these automated. So that's done. On my passive tree, this is the normal passive tree that I tend to take. On the Chieftain side, we get Death's Fury, we've got Cleansing Water, and we've got Storm's Embrace. I've not bothered with my 4th Ascendancy point yet. I don't know exactly where I want to go with it, so I just haven't bothered doing it. I have not decided whether I want to take like these 2 small nodes or 2 of these small nodes, or if I want to go over here to Flames Advance. I'm not sure. I don't know. I think I'd be better off just taking 2 small nodes and not bothering with this Flames Advance at all. But I just haven't made the decision on what I want to do, so I haven't bothered pushing into that Ascendancy yet. So I've just got the 3 Ascendancies taken so far. For the most part, this is the passive tree that I would normally run with some changes. Because I'm doing the Chieftain and because I want all of the elemental resistances stacked as high as possible, I've taken things like this Ellie node wheel here, so you get +1 fire res there, you get prismatic skin for +2. I've also came up here to get this +1 fire and this +2 all Ellie res, and then I came over here. The reason I have magmatic strikes is so I could take this fire mastery to regenerate 1 life per second per each 1% uncapped fire res, and that's why I have 718 life regen. There's another node I can take over here for Armor Mastery, which gives me another +1% Ellie res. I didn't feel like that was the point that I wanted to take at this point in time. It's when I'm going to get there. I think I'm going to keep going on over here to get Berserking, and then there's a Constitution node up here I want to pick up. That's probably where I'm going to take the next several levels that I go into. If I had the Nagamu's Flame, I would be coming off into Lava Lash and Invigorating Blaze, I think, but this is just pushing as much fizz damage as possible. So we've got all the different 2-handed nodes. We've got Rage up here. We've got 2-handed Axe over here. We've got 2 regular fizz damage here, Wrecking Ball with 2-handed damage, and then Martial Experience and Kinetic Impact. So that's where damage comes. Oh, and Hatchet Master. I came down here. This gives me a chance for Onslaught on kill, so I could get rid of this Onslaught Flask. I just haven't done it yet. Now, as far as changes that I've made to the passive tree, this is largely what I would do for my Chieftain, what I've done in the other times that I've tried this, but I did take Cannot Be Maimed or Hindered on this one, and I also took this down here for Cannot Be Chilled while at maximum frenzy charges. I am so sick of moving slow through this. I've gotten Cursed, so I've got removed Curse on my Flask. I've got this so I don't get maimed or hindered. I've got this so I don't get chilled. I am so tired of cruising along and then just getting slowed out of nowhere and killed. So I've taken all those things to just kind of, I know some of this can all come from Flasks. I just solved them with points for the time being because I didn't feel like rolling everything. I'm an SSF, currency's tight. I can just take them and be done with them. We can move these points around later if I get them solved in other ways, but I needed to solve the problem. It sucked. I was moving slow a lot, and that just sucked. And I also don't have any Divine Vessels, so I can't avoid being frozen from Lightfoot over here. So I got some things I need to work out. I've got some gear I'm in the keeping an eye out for, but I'm in tier 15 maps and I'm cruising right along. So all good. I have been tinkering with mercenaries off and on through mapping. I had this guy down here. He was doing okay for a little while, and then they just patched it to where he sucks now. And I don't know. I haven't bothered with mercenaries. Actually, I was trying a few of them before the patch, but they just totally one-shot me. So I was like, all right, I'm done with those. So mercenaries have been kind of hit or miss with this. It took me forever to get King's March unlocked. I just forgot about it for the longest time. But once I got it rolling, I started sending shipments off and getting currency. So I'm building up a small little pile of currency. It's nothing to write home about, but I've got a little pile of currency going on. And for my Atlas strategies, I'm doing something a little bit different this time. Normally, I would path straight up the middle and then come off each side and get these Kirok wings off of it, and then probably go up the middle and pick up like essences and stuff like that. I don't find myself using essences all that much. So for this time around, I came up through Delve and then picked up all this Kirok stuff and then continued on into more Delve and Harvest. Harvest crafting is really good in SSF, and I've found myself using it more and more and more. So that's how I've ended up getting like this axe, and probably, I don't know, some of the gear that I've gotten on here is doing harvest crafting. So what I'm going to do is go back into the white maps and try to build up as many Kirok missions as I can to try to get the unique maps. I want to get 10 more maps, so I unlock the third passive tree, or the third Atlas tree, I mean. So I'm going to be working towards that. And in the course of doing that, I'm going to go into Delve, level up, and then work on getting Sulfite as well as getting Harvest Juice. And I'm going to start sliding in some incursions. Whenever I get all the mapping done, I'll pull out all the Kirok stuff and then finish out the incursions. And that's what this passive tree is going to be for. And it's working well as it is currently. My second passive tree, I actually came up through Delve to pick up Abyss. We've got the Eater of the World stuff and the Abyss over here. This is going to be just pure bossing. So we'll go, whenever I get done with Abyss, I need to get a Stygian Vice. So I've specced into that to get that. Once this is all done, or once I'm done with that, I'll go back in here and pull all this off, go into like Conquerors, Synthesis, Searing Exarch, and then like the Shaper and Elder. I don't know what else I'm doing up in this stuff, but this will be my bossing passive. And then my third tree, I haven't totally decided what I want to do with the third tree yet. I want to get to it though. I think what it's going to be is on the left-hand side of the tree. I think I'm going to go into probably Blight. I'll probably heavily go into Blight. And I'm not sure what else I want to do on that one yet. I could also pick up Incursion on that side. I don't know. I've got options. I want Blight because I need to get my oils set up. And I blocked Ritual. I am so sick of Ritual. I liked Ritual before they changed it. The way Ritual was a couple of leagues ago, whenever they changed everything after the Wildwood and all that, and they started adding all the stuff that does like all the chaos damage and all that to mimic whatever they do in PoE 2. I liked it before all that. It was just regular monsters, and it wasn't all the chaos damage and all the frogs and the purple crap on the ground. I find myself dying to it again, so I'm sick of it, so I just killed it. But other than that, I don't know what else to do. Like, I don't have to do Jund missions. I don't care about doing the Jund stuff. Breach, I probably should do Breach at some point, probably fit Breach in there. Maybe that'll be on my bossing tree, because that'll be what that one's for. But I don't know. At this point, I'm not sure what else I'm going to do on this side. Maybe Delirium, definitely Blight. I don't know. We'll see where that one goes. But really good progress. The build's doing well. I plan on starting my second character this weekend and at least getting some of the campaign done. I don't know that I'm going to push really hard to get it done. I'll probably float back and forth between the two builds. But I want to get that one going so I can get it up and start gearing it up. And I want to get into the third Atlas tree and start gathering all my crafting materials and all that. But at any rate, that is all the progress I've got. How are you guys doing in your league? Hopefully everybody's enjoying it. There's been a lot of server issues, it looks like, in the EU, and hopefully they get all that solved. I don't know. I haven't had any issues outside of day one, so it's been mostly fine for me. But I know a lot of you guys are having issues, but let me know what you're doing and let me know how your league is going down below. But that's going to do it for this video. We will catch you on the next one. Take care.